Line drive right field, base hit. South Carolina wins the College World Series.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Felcher on your Wednesday here on the game. That was the call back in the summer of 2010 when the Gamecocks finally broke through and won the national championship at the College World Series. Our guest joining us now on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines was a part of that team in 2010, that being Ethan Carter. Ethan, appreciate your time. Where exactly were you in that dog pile after that game ended? I was looking for it yesterday. I couldn't find you. Where'd you end up in that?
So I was at the bottom because it was Witt was running to second and Wingo was scoring. So like we diverted, like 3 or 4 guys went towards Witt, a bunch of guys went towards home plate, and I was actually one of the first guys that got the Witt. So I'm at the bottom of that dog pile, and I don't know if a lot of people say this. It's not exactly the funnest place to be.
What's up, Ethan? So we were talking the other day, and you were saying, how you guys found out about that you guys were going into the Hall of Fame as a team. What is going through your mind when you learn that's the case? What's your just initial reaction when you hear those teams that meant so much to this program are going to be a part of something as special as the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, just utter glee. Just one of those things that, you never set out. I say you never. I never set out to for individual accolades or anything like that. You always want to be a part of winning teams. So, or generally Hall of Fames are individual accomplishments. So to be able to go in as a team, it's just something so special, and it's something that they can't take away from us, and it really means a lot. I love the university and being a part of that history and that fabric for forever. It's just means the world to me.
Anybody that's played on a team, you have a special connection with teammates even years later from Pee Wee, high school, whatever it may be. But especially when you win a championship, I imagine that creates an even more special bond. What is that relationship like with your teammates? Obviously, you guys have all gone in different directions. Some have played pro ball, coaching now, doing different things in their adult lives. Like, what is that relationship you guys still have up to this day from that team back then?
Oh, it's great. Like there are guys that you can go months without talking to, and you can just send them. You find something on the internet that you find funny, and you just send it to them, and you get a response. I before the Major League season started, I had been texting with Christian Walker, here or there for a couple of times, and I'm still really close with Adrian Morales and Logan Munson and a few of those guys. So, it means a lot that when like you said, when you go through those battles and you go through those things and you accomplish something, the ultimate goal, those kind of relationships last forever. And it's like I said, not everybody is texting every day, but you can pretty much anybody on that team reach out to those guys and they'll be there.
You and I have talked about this ad nauseum on GC Live, just how important it is to get the alumni back involved in this program with this next hiring process that plays out. Just one of those added things that I think is so critical. How big of a first step does this kind of feel like? Because I think the timing is kind of ironic that it is happening, as South Carolina is ready to make a coaching hire. And, I think this is one of the things that needs to definitely improve. And I know you feel that way too. So what kind of first step do you feel like this can be for getting the alumni just back involved in the program?
Oh, I think it's incredible. Like you said, we've kind of beat this drum a little bit on the GC Live here the last 2 weeks, and I think it's a great first step. Because it's I think these teams 2010 and then especially 2011 those guys being able to run it back and do it again in such fashion. That recognition is huge, but I even want it we want to extend past just these couple of teams, because there's so many guys before and after that have kind of laid the groundwork for this program and have done some really special things. So I think it's a great first step. That we're gonna. My understanding is we'll have the induction on Thursday, and then we're gonna have like a little event or something for the team on Friday, and then the football game against A&M's on that Saturday. And I know the individual inductees are going to be recognized, and some guys are going to stick around. So I think it's a great thing that with all the changes coming in, that we kind of remind everybody that this is the standard to this program, and we're looking to get back to that.
Former Gamecock pitcher Ethan Carter joining us here on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Of course, Ray Tanner had so many great teams, so many great players over the years, but that was the first one that broke through and won a national championship. And as we're going into what's going to be a new era for Gamecock baseball with whoever they end up hiring to start in 2027, what made that team and those teams that we're talking about here so great? And obviously, it's what we've been trying to chase and pursue ever since, and hope South Carolina can get the baseball program back to.
A lot of it had to do with kind of the iron sharpening iron thing. We had some great in the fall and in the spring. We were going to battle against each other weekly, and those teams we had we obviously had some guys that went on to have some really good major league careers, but kind of Coach Tanner said this on our call today. We weren't a team that was flooded with first rounders. We had a bunch of grinders on our team, and we had some guys that had come from different spots and had some chips on shoulders, and we just really fought and fought for everything we earned, and We battled some adversity in that 2010 season. We lost, I believe it was back-to-back series to ECU, who eliminated us in 2009 in the regional. We lost to Clemson, and that was a bloody weekend by that Sunday. So we really did battle some adversity early in that season, and I think that just really prepped us for when we got to the postseason and we were down in the first game of the regional, and then when we lost that first game to Oklahoma out in Omaha, we were really battle tested, and I think that being able to go through that adversity and come together as a team throughout that really just propelled and made us kind of a runaway train when it came to. It didn't really matter what the situation was. It didn't matter, if I'd given up a home run, to Oklahoma in the extra innings. We were confident that we were always going to come through and make something happen, and the team really did that.
Got about another minute or so here with Ethan Carter, who we appreciate joining us. Kind of going off that point you said about losing the first game to Oklahoma, and then you guys are having your backs up against the wall the rest of the way and win every game after that to obviously win the title. At what point during that Omaha run did you kind of get the sense that you guys are going to go ahead here and win the College World Series?
I think when we finished off that second Oklahoma game, we came back being down and we won that. I had a great feeling after that game. I was feeling like, man, we can beat anybody. But I think also when we got Clemson the first time, when we got them the first time, we're at least getting to the final. And then I think we all felt really good about whoever we matched up with in the final. But for me personally, I think it was after the Oklahoma game. I think a lot of guys will say that, but for sure, once we took that first one from Clemson, it was like, yeah, we've got the stuff for it.
Last 30 seconds here. How many times have you gone back and watched that clip of you guys clinching it there and winning the whole thing?
Oh man, maybe in the hundreds now. We're about 15, 16 years after now, so we're in the hundreds. We will, a few of us, hanging out with some buddies, and we're we're enjoying a game, and after the game goes off, and like, let's fire that up. Let's watch that again.
Hey, I don't think anybody would blame you for doing that. That's for sure. Ethan, appreciate you joining us, man, and congrats on the honor.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. Y'all have a good one.